We've got over 500 vehicle tests on this channel, and almost all of them have headlight tests, so if you want to see how the lights on your vehicle work, this is the right place to be. I'm in a good Christmas mood, so we had the hired help put a giant wreath over our front door this Christmas. And the living room was too small to put the Christmas trees, so we put them outside this year. Lexus sent us an RX 500H hybrid to drive. We already did a full road test on this with the fuel economy numbers. That's a separate video. But we'll have a link for that at the end of this video. For right now, we're just doing a headlight test. And these are the optional LEDs, and very expensive, as we'll show you on the price sheet. Are they worth the price? We'll find out. And on this Lexus, they're charging us triple beam LED headlights, a whopping $1,565. Are they worth the extra tab? We're going to find out. And that, with an awful lot of other options, gives you this. That's a lot of money. It's dark enough to check out these lights, see how they do. 3 bulbs on each side. Pretty bright. And the rear, long and thin. Here's what the emergency lights look like. Very tiny. Have some on the mirror. Can't really see them on the front, being drowned out by the headlights. And these are low beam settings. Headlights off, it's a little bit better. And better on the rear. And the interior lights up pretty good if you have the info screen on only. With the info screen on, dark. And we were cheating a bit because we did have the 2 little dome lights on the cabin here on. I didn't realize that. Alright, dome lights on. Dome lights off. If you watch my videos, I cannot stand auto-dimming mirrors. Unless they have a switch to turn them off. We don't here, however. We also have a camera. So, that's your choice. Looks pretty good in the parking lot. We have light, but on the street, it might be a different story, as we'll find out when we hit the street. And here we have a large info screen. I think this is optional. I really have a peeve with this navigation system, because every time I turn it on, these settings reset to the way they were before. I want north up. North has to be up. There we go. But you turn the vehicle off, turn it back on, and it goes back to the old non-north up. Something you just have to live with. Gauge cluster is very nice. Here's one thing I do not like. Anytime you turn off the safety nannies, which aren't really that safe to begin with, get these orange warning lights on the gauge cluster. It's fine to have a warning light, but why do they have to be orange? That's a very serious color. That's a check engine light or a flat tire light. So if I'm going to ignore the orange lights, that's not good. These should be a different color, but this is the way it is with all manufacturers. They make the indicator lights orange or yellow, and I don't think that's a good idea. And here's something you can't see with the naked eye. 2 little purple things there. Those are hidden cameras that watch your face. And if it doesn't like the way your face is looking, not looking ahead, you get a warning on the gauge cluster. Or if it's blocked somehow, like you're driving one hand, it sets off alarms, and I had a very hard time disconnecting the system. Eventually got it turned off. If it's turned on, it can be a real pain in the ass. Here's what the rearview camera looks like. Flickering on the camera, of course, doesn't do that in person. Alright, let's go to the headlights. I have found the optional LEDs that are sold on these Lexus vehicles are great on high beam, very powerful, but good low beam. The cutoff is very short, and they ride way too low, and I see we're having this problem here. As we get on the street, you'll see it gets a bit worse. Here we have the high beams on a building. It lights up the whole countryside. Go low beam, doesn't reach out. This is our 100-yard test, and the high beams reaches out no problem. If you're on a highway at 75 miles per hour, you have to make a panic stop. It takes like 150 feet or 50 yards at least. And low beam, we're not reaching out that far. I think about 30, 35 yards on the left and maybe 50 on the right, I'm guessing. I don't have my rangefinder, but on the highway at 75 miles per hour, I don't think this is going to look very good. We'll be getting on the highway later on, but right before you get to the cutoff point, but if it doesn't reach out further, what's the point? I don't like this. This camera system in the rearview mirror looks pretty good in the daytime, but at night you get so much glare from the headlights it's hard to see anything. Like so. But again, with the auto-dimming mirrors, you can't see anything anyway, so what difference does it make, right? Let's do some dark, dingy street driving. Oh, I see we have side lights here. When you turn the steering wheel to take corners. That comes in handy in parking lots so you don't run over winos. In any case, we have the high beams on, and these are flamethrowers, definitely reaching down the end of the street. No problem here. But again, when you go to the low beams, I've got a slight dip and I can't see anything beyond 25 yards. Bright until you get there. There could be a horse out there, I wouldn't see it. And again, high beam, another dip. And it's around 20-25 yards. Not impressed. Let's get on the highway, light up some road signs. Won't do much on the low beam, but high beam, wow, reaching way out there, about half a mile. But not with the low setting. Alright, construction zone coming up. Really reaching out on the high beam, but worthless on the low beam. What a surprise. Okay, let's light up the road. There you go. I wish I could drive the whole 120 miles here with the high beams on, but I'm afraid I'm going to blind everybody on oncoming traffic and upset a lot of people. But they do reach out. This concludes our night drive and headlight test, and when the sun comes up, I will tell you what I think in the morning. Subscribe, by the way. I need more viewers. YouTube's been shadow banning me for some time. So are these LED headlights worth the extra $1,600? In my opinion, no, they're not. Of course, the problem is I don't know what the standard headlights are like, so I cannot make the comparison. I don't think they could be any worse. That's just my guess. If you were to buy an RX 500H, I suggest you do a test drive at the dealer at night. Try out these optional LEDs and try the standard ones and see which ones you like. And I suspect I'm going to get some emails from people who already own these and say, yeah, I don't like these headlights either. Can I have a mechanic adjust the level? And honestly, I don't know. But the Lexus dealer isn't going to do it because it's a liability issue. They can't make a in-spec Lexus and non-spec Lexus. But if you find a good mechanic independent, he might be able to raise them for you. Go find out. So if you want to see what we thought about our one-week road test and get the fuel economy numbers, here's the link coming up for that road test. Click and watch. You're already here.